Hi, my name is Christina. I am Whilst Iris Snaps on Instagram and Whilst Iris Snaps Designs, and this is a video about cross stitch. This is FlossTube number 13, unlucky for some, and is in fact my 1 year FlossTube anniversary. It was exactly a year ago that I started filming my FlossTube videos. Where has that year gone? And I will be having a giveaway to celebrate the occasion later in the video. So what else am I going to share with you today? Well, I have some stitching from the archives, and once again it is a framed piece from my mum. She was having a good sort out of her framed cross stitches recently, and I was plucking out the ones that I hadn't yet shared, and this is one of those. I have some Christmas ornaments, some more Christmas ornaments. Are you bored with them yet? I have my Christmas exchange with April, May, June stitcher. I have a giveaway, as mentioned earlier. I have some Christmas presents that I have been sent, and I was given permission to open them early, but I'd like to share those with you. And then to finish, I am going to share my new release, G is for Gingerbread. So let's get cracking. First up, stitching from the archives, and this is a stunning Mirabilia, and she is called Elizabeth and the Lavender Sky. And I hesitate because for years I've called her Elizabeth in the Lavender Blue Sky. No, Elizabeth and the Lavender Sky. And she is just gorgeous. Stitched by my mum in 1998, and it looks like she's stitched her on an even weave, a 32 count, with the DMC thread. And as is always the case with Mirabilia, their use of colour is nothing short of spectacular. I just love the fruit in the corner. I can't make up my mind if that's a peach or an apple. And then there's a pear in this bottom corner, and I love that it's been triple mounted. Really like this one. Obviously it isn't a Christmas piece, but it certainly has a wintry feel to it, doesn't it? And unfortunately I think this is no longer in print, judging by the prices it goes for on eBay. But if you would like to try and get your hands on one of the charts, I will put in a photograph here. Now to Christmas ornaments. Yet more Christmas ornaments from me. However, I promise, once I've shown these ornaments today, you will not see another Christmas ornament from me this year, other than my exchange with April and my new release. First up is an ornament that I received quite a few messages about after I shared a photograph of my ornament collection on Instagram. This is Down the Chimney by Cherrywood Design Studios, which was Cathy before she became Hands-On Design. I stitched it on 32 count summer khaki linen using DMC threads. There is a festive fabric on the reverse, and I used a black ruched ribbon trim, which probably seems like an unusual colour choice for a Christmas ornament, but I really wanted to pick out the black in Santa's boots. I no longer own the chart for this one. I passed the stash years ago, but I will see if I can find a photograph just in case you'd like to search for the chart yourself. As I said, I did get a lot of messages about it. Next up is a Prairie schooler. This is taken from the Santa and Snowmen booklet. I stitched it on 36 count raw opalescent. Hopefully you can pick out the shimmer using the DMC threads. There is a tree on the reverse with the date 2017 Oh, the shimmer's much more obvious on the reverse, isn't it? Again, I don't own the chart for this anymore, but it is still readily available, I believe. Then we have a little house needlework design called Peppermint Twist, and I stitched this on 32 count dirty linen using the DMC threads. I did purchase the call for button, which was a candy cane, but I decided that I preferred it without. I do love this ornament, it's one of my favourites. I stitched a parcel with the date 2011 on the back, beaded trim and baker's twine hanger. I do still own the chart for this, but when I went searching for it this morning, could I find it? No, I could not. I definitely need to come up with a better filing system for my charts. The next few ornaments are all taken from Just Cross Stitch Christmas edition magazines. This is Peace by Blackbird Designs, stitched using the DMC threads on a 36 count raw linen. And this was from the 2009 Christmas edition of the magazine. You can probably see I've stitched 2009 there. I back stitched Merry Christmas on the reverse and made a white beaded trim. I have the magazine here. This was a great edition, 2009. I used to love receiving these magazines. I would pore over them for hours using sticky notes just so I knew which ornaments I wanted to stitch that year. I've stitched several from this magazine. And there is the ornament there. Such a pretty angel underneath too. The last two ornaments are both from the 2007 edition of the Just Cross Stitch magazine. This is Fill with Love by Designs by Cathy Jean, and I stitched this on an unknown 40 count fabric using 2 strands. At the time I didn't realise that it was okay to use 1 strand of thread. 2 strands on 40 count linen. Yes. I love the shading in the stocking, though I seem to remember the back stitch in the leaves was a real pain. Really pleased with how it turned out though. And I stitched a cute heart on the back. Finally, Jingle Jingle. This is a design by Follow the Leader Needleart Designs called Oh Christmas Tree. And I seem to remember this was the first time I ever used overdyed threads. Again, 2 strands on 40 count fabric. What was I thinking? I stitched the word peace on the back, and I was going through a stage, somebody must have recommended this to me. I was going through a stage of filling my ornaments with rice. I do really like how it looks though, it's not overfilled. I do quite like it. And as I said, they were both from the 2007 edition, another great edition of the magazine. There we have Fill with Love, and then Oh Christmas Tree at the bottom there. That year I also stitched this, oh no, who's it by? Jeanette Douglas. I stitched this for my husband's mum. She still has this on her Christmas tree every year. and this triangular design by Erica Michaels. Love that. So there you go. That's it. My Christmas decorations all done. The end. Now to my Christmas exchange with April, who is April May June Stitcher on Instagram and FlossTube. This is our final exchange of the year, and we had decided not to go with a theme this time, but both agreed to keep it small, just with all of the other pressures and deadlines that are around at this time of year. So April stitched for me a very cute Santa called Peace and Joy from the Drawn Thread. Those who follow April will know that she is the queen of speciality stitches, and she tells me that there are reverse Smyrnas and woven stitches in this chart. I think the woven stitches are in Santa's sack and the reverse Smyrnas are the holly berries. Is that right, April? And I love his fuzzy beard. I think April has to attack the thread with Velcro to get that effect. I'm not sure I would be quite so brave to do that. And a few days before April sent my parcel, she messaged to say that she wasn't able to find some suitable ribbon for the finishing, so she had cut some ribbon from one of her red jumpers. She's never going to be able to hang that red jumper, is she? Forever we'll have to fold it. So sorry, April. But I'm going to be teasing her about that for years. Thank you so much. I love him. He was pride of place on our Christmas tree before I plucked him off this morning. Because April loves speciality stitches so much, I decided for her exchange I was going to push myself way out of my comfort zone and embroider an ornament for her. This is the chart that I chose. This is from a new to me website called Smart Cross Stitch, and it has a mix of embroidery and cross stitch charts, many of which are freebies. And in fact, this one is a freebie too. I decided just to stitch the centre portion of the chart, just to make it ornament sized, and to stitch it in 2 shades of red, Weeks Dye Works, Louisiana Hot Sauce and Cayenne, just to make it a bit more festive. For those who have done this type of work before, you know there is no room for error, no room at all. If you're one thread out, the whole motif has to be unpicked. And let me tell you, I did a lot of unpicking for this tiny, tiny ornament. I'll put a photograph of it in here. Would I embroider an ornament again? Possibly not. However, I'm pleased that I persisted. I'm also pleased that I didn't chuck it out of the window, because I threatened to several times, let me tell you. I will link Smart Cross Stitch's website in the drop down box below. Do go and check out their website. Their charts are very detailed and incredibly easy to follow, even for a newbie like me. Right, what I thought I would do next is show some previous exchanges, Christmas exchanges that April has sent to me, because I don't believe I've shared them on my videos before. First up is a berry called Snowy Night, and this is by the Cricket Collection. Another beautiful finish from April. And this reminds me, in 2022, I want to be a little more adventurous with my ornament finishing. I know we all love a beaded edge, but I think I need to think outside of the box a little. definitely on my list is a berry. And then we have this fabulous guy. This is Felice Flamingo. How incredible is he? And as you can see, April's attacked his wing with Velcro. He has a fuzzy wing, but I love that. Every year, once we've just decorated our tree, it's our tradition that we all choose our top 10 baubles or ornaments and make a list. We give the list to my husband, he reads them out, and we have to guess which list belongs to who. And this flamingo is always in the top 3 of every list. Love him. Now to some early Christmas presents that I have kindly been sent. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have read in one of my recent posts that I intend to add yet another themed Christmas tree to our collection next year. I already have a Christmas pudding themed tree that I shared in my previous video, but I would love to have a tree with just gingerbread ornaments on it. I have seen so many fabulous ones on Instagram this year, and obviously having read that, my friend Sharon, who is Nana McStuffins on Instagram, has sent me this cute gingerbread hanging ornament. Isn't he lovely? Just love that waistcoat, and you get to see it on the reverse too. The tin came with 3 gingerbread biscuits inside, so of course I had to give those to my 3 children, the 3 eyes. And Sharon, they said they were delicious, so thank you so much. I can't wait to hang him on my tree next year that I haven't bought yet, but I will in the January sales. Then from the lovely Michelle, who is Mama Loves You GB on Instagram and FlossTube, I got a parcel of her dyed fabrics. How lucky am I? This top fabric, I believe Michelle dyed specifically for the Lucy Beam chart Disturbed Women, and I took it as a huge compliment that Michelle had assumed I'd already bought the chart. I can't wait to stitch that on there, Michelle. And this one just screams Halloween to me. So I need to have a good look through my Halloween charts to see what would really stand out on those purples and greens. This next one with its pink and purplish hues, I was thinking a Mirabilia fairy. I have 2 of their fairies. Now what are they called? Is it the Petal Fairy and the Bliss Fairy maybe? I think one of those would look beautiful on there. And then there's a lovely neutral. I thought a sampler on this one. Michelle, perhaps your Nessie Mitchell would look good on this. And also, as if that wasn't enough, a fat quarter of yet another neutral, and I think almost definitely a sampler on that. Thank you so much, Michelle. I have been hinting heavily for months for Michelle to dye and sell her fabric. I will keep niggling away, don't you worry. Finally, from Jenny at Cricklewood Crossing on Instagram and Etsy. Jenny and I were exchanging messages on Instagram recently, and then totally out of the blue last week, I received one of her amazing project bags. I love everything about this. The colour, the shape, the vintage fabric. Jenny's attention to detail is second to none. Look at that zip fob. I've really enjoyed seeing so much vintage fabric around this Christmas, I sense another theme coming on. And I am so pleased that Jenny chose a bag and sent it without giving me a choice, because if I'd had to choose between her Christmas bags, it would have taken me weeks and then she would have been sold out. I have put together a montage of photographs of Jenny's Christmas bags. They are bags that I had pinned to my Pinterest page. Could you choose a favourite from that gorgeous collection? I had a quick look at Jenny's Etsy shop this morning, and she's added a note to say that she's taken a break from making her bags over the festive period, and deservedly so, Jenny. However, I'm sure we'll see lots more fabulous bags and needle minders from Jenny in the new year. Shall we have a giveaway to celebrate my 1-year FlossTube anniversary? This is my way of saying thank you for all of the support shown to my channel and my little business over the last year. I could not do it without all of you. There is a theme to the giveaway, although it wasn't really intentional. That theme is the letter M. I have 3 prizes to give away. I have 2 fat eighths of fabric, and I have a bundle of 3 PDF charts. First up is the fabric. This fabric was sent to me for the giveaway by the lovely Hazel from Foxglove and Lace Linen. And this is the minty fabric that I stitched my Christmas freebie on, Let It Snow. And I will include with each piece of fabric a packet of these snowflakes that I used to finish my freebie. Of course, you don't have to stitch the freebie on the fabric should you win. You can stitch whatever you want on it. To be in with a chance of winning the fabric, please could you use the word minty in your comment. You could be as creative or not as you wish. Next is the bundle of 3 PDF charts, all samplers stitched by girls named Mary, hence the M theme. First is Mary Valak from Whilst Iris Snaps Designs. Then we have Mary Harry 1808, kindly donated by Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery. Love the colours in this one. And then we have Mary Amelia Graham Small 1863, again kindly donated by Michelle, Mama Loves You GB. Thank you, Michelle. If you would like to be in with a chance of winning these charts, please could you mention the word Mary in your comment. If you would like to tell me about a Mary that is in your life or has been in your life, I'd love to hear about her. When I hear the name Mary, I think of my Auntie Margaret's sister. My Auntie Margaret is originally from Newton Stewart in Scotland, and Mary and her husband owned a farm in Newton Stewart. We would often go and visit for a few days, usually around this time of year over the festive period. Their farmhouse was huge and beautiful. However, it didn't have central heating, so in the living areas there was always a roaring fire, but the bedrooms were bitterly cold. Can you imagine Scotland in the middle of winter? But Mary would go around each bedroom before you turned in the evening and switch on the electric blankets. So when you jumped into bed, it was always toasty warm. And they weren't duvet covers on the bed. They were the good old-fashioned candlewick bedspreads. Happy memories. So yes, I'd love to hear about a Mary that you have or have had in your life. I thought I would use this opportunity, as we have already mentioned Mary samplers, to share with you 2 Mary samplers that I own that I have not reproduced yet. The first one I'm about to show is a recent acquisition. And this is the rather large and rather fabulous Mary Wormley. And Mary packed her sampler full of motifs. The colours are absolutely spectacular. I did manage to find Mary Wormley and was thrilled to discover that she was a Yorkshire lass. She was from Rickhall in Yorkshire. I hope that's how you pronounce it, near Selby. I can't wait to reproduce this one. She has a fascinating family history. Don't they all? And next, clunk clunk, don't fall over Mary, we have Mary Smalthwaite, 1855. I was definitely drawn to the pretty border on this sampler. It says, "The windows shall open, the trumpets shall sound, the dead shall be raised, and the Lord shall be found." I have not yet done any research on Mary Smalthwaite, but the sampler was framed in Prairie, South Africa, so there could be links there. And there is a little note on the back that says, "Worked by Mrs. Roberts' mother at 12 years old." Another clue maybe. So yes, watch out for these 2 Mary samplers in the future. Finally, to my new release, this is G is for Gingerbread. Clearly, this design has been several years in the making, because when I was decorating our Christmas tree, I happened upon a gingerbread ornament that I painted at a pottery cafe a few years ago. Does he look familiar? Obviously, this is where I drew inspiration from. And I enjoyed stitching the design so much, not only did I stitch him and finish with a blue bow and white charm with black buttons, I stitched it again with a pink bow, pink charm, and omitted the buttons at the request of my youngest daughter. I guess that means that she's claimed this one. And then I really wanted to see how it would pop on a darker fabric. So I stitched it on 35 count slate grey from Zweigart with a red bow and black buttons. My son has claimed this one, so I really need to get it finished before Christmas. The model is stitched on 36 count creme brulee from R&R Reproductions using Weeks Dyeworks threads. The brown is the rather fabulous Weeks Dyeworks Tiger's Eye. I love the variegated effect you get from this. However, I do provide a DMC conversion. The stitch count is 55 by 75 and there are no speciality stitches, so it is suitable for linen or Aida. I did stitch a parcel and the date on the reverse. You know how much I love to do this, and I did provide the chart for this within the PDF. I also provide finishing instructions for the bow and the enamel charm. I have also added a very short video onto my website to show how I made the bow, and also finishing instructions for the pillow finish. The charms that I used, I purchased from eBay. As you can see, I bought them in several different colours, but you can get them from Etsy or Amazon. These have come in very useful over the festive period. I've used them to personalise several different things. I bought decorations for my friend's 3 sons and then added their initials. The ribbon is just a 15mm gingham. Again, I bought that from eBay, as were the buttons from eBay. They're just 5mm buttons. Of course, you don't have to finish your gingerbread in this way. There are hundreds of different options. I would love to see him with a tartan or plaid bow. Or what about gingerbread ribbon? Would that be too much? I have seen several finishes of the gingerbread ornament already and they are fabulous. I will add photographs at the end of the video. The chart can be downloaded from my website. And I think that's probably a good place to end my video. All it's left to say is have a wonderful Christmas, and here's hoping for a happy and healthy 2022. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.